I love being pretty. It is such a blessing, and I thank God for it every day. But make no mistake, being pretty is not all sunshine and roses. You see, there's another side to being pretty that no one ever talks about. Because while there are definite upsides, there are downsides as well. Everyone always talks about the access that pretty privilege gets you, but no one ever talks about the downsides of pretty privilege. In this video, I'm going to uncover the 5 downsides of pretty privilege so that you can be aware of them and overcome them. And if you're new here, hi girl, my name is Marsella Christina, and on this channel, I teach women how to become their highest selves. So if that's something that you're interested in, be sure to subscribe. As I mentioned earlier, being pretty really is a privilege, and it is a blessing, and I don't ever take it for granted. I would never trade the cards that I've been dealt because I'm happy with my hand. That being said, it is important to understand that being pretty comes with a price, and many pretty women are often blindsided by this, especially when they step into womanhood and really embrace their beauty. That's when things start to get really strange. All of a sudden, things change and people change, and the pretty girl is left wondering why. This video is going to clear up that confusion, so if you're serious about overcoming the downsides of pretty privilege, be sure to watch until the end of the video for my most important tip. Let's get right into it. The first downside of pretty privilege is that people try to humble you. As strange as it sounds, people want you to feel bad for being pretty. I mean, how odd is that? Being pretty is a blessing, it's a gift, given to me by God, and of course the genetics of my mom and dad. So essentially what I'm getting at is, I didn't really have much say in the matter. This was literally God's grace, so to try to make me feel bad for the way I look is so crazy to me. There are so many ways that people will try to humble you, but one of the more common ways is that they'll highlight your flaws. Every human being has flaws. When you're pretty, people think of you as perfect, even if you might not think of yourself in that way. So in order to humble you or humanize you, they look for your flaws and try to pick at them. And while this is common with women, this is actually even more common with men. I can't tell you how many times a guy that likes me has looked for a flaw in me just to humble me. But then they throw in a couple laughs and haha, just kiddings to try to smooth it over. But I peep game. I can be literally dressed well from head to toe. Hair is done, lashes are done, but oh, my nails, they need a fill-in. A man will see this and say, oh wow, if you were my girl, I would always have your nails done. You would never need a fill-in. You could literally be on your way to the nail salon and they will still say this nonsense because they're looking for a way in. They're looking for a way to make you human. And if there's no flaw about you, then they have no way of humbling you, and so they have no way of connecting with you. It's sick, I know. People will also go out of their way to embarrass you. Let's say you're walking down the street minding your own business and a guy sees you and wants to talk to you. Instead of approaching you properly like a gentleman, he literally screams and hollers at you. And of course, ladies, we don't stop or respond to that. So the same guy that was interested in you all of a sudden tries to embarrass you. He hurls insults at you and says you're not even all that, all because he wants to protect his own image and ego. Essentially, you hurt his feelings. But my goodness, aren't your feelings hurt? Does anyone ever care about the pretty girl's feelings? Now, between me and you, girl, your feelings probably aren't hurt, because I know mine aren't. But it's really just the principle. People feel like they can handle pretty women however they want. Like they can be cruel to them and they just have to take it. That they should humble pretty women because they need to be humbled. And so it's a constant challenge and it's always unwarranted. I'm walking down the street minding my own business. I don't deserve to be yelled at, and I don't deserve to be told off. But when you're pretty, people always want to misrepresent you. They always want to showcase you in a light that isn't true. But unfortunately for them, we know what time it is. To deal with people trying to humble you, you need to be unapologetic. Remember, people want you to feel bad for being pretty. So the most audacious thing you can do is be unapologetic about it. Because here's the thing, people are going to say whatever they want to say. Some people are going to make up their minds about you and never change it. And that is their problem. When you're unapologetic, you step in the room with a different energy, and people sense it and they back off. The humbling tactics only work when you go along with them. But when you're unapologetic, people sense that you mean business and you're not taking crap from anyone. That's the vibe that you want, and that's the vibe that you need. This in and of itself is going to back those people off because they're going to know that they can't mess with you, and they sure can't. The next downside of pretty privilege is that you become the villain. I kid you not, when you're a pretty woman, people blame you for everything. It is always your fault, and you're always responsible. And if that isn't enough, people act so weird around you. Let me give you an example. Last weekend, I went out with friends and we went to a lounge. When we get to the lounge, we walk in and we see people lounging. There was this one couple that was facing the door, so they saw us when we were walking in. I kid you not, this woman's man looked at me and then turned his back towards me so that he could look at the girl. And I love that for them. It seems as if he's really into her. But this is a normal occurrence and it gets weirder and weirder every time. Because it's like, don't let me interrupt. I'm not out to get anyone and I'm not interested. But people are always so weird around me. They'll They'll change their seats, their body language gets weird. I mean, they'll even get up and walk away. It is really spooky. And it's probably one of the most annoying downsides because it's like, really, I'm not pressed. But again, you're the villain. You're out to get people, so people have to put their guards up around you. People always think pretty women have motives. If you're pretty, you must be up to something. You must be plotting or being devious. When the entire time you're thinking about life just as anyone else is thinking about life. Oh, I have these things to do next week. Oh, I can't forget to do this, etc., etc. But really, they're just projecting. Because if they looked like you, that's what they would be doing. They would be plotting and scheming because that's what's in their hearts. People think that it's physical or skin deep, but it's not. It's your heart. It's the way you move. It's how you decide to treat people. And that is what these people do not understand. I'm a pretty woman, but my heart is prettier. And I know that there's a lot of women that can relate to that. It gets old being accused. It gets old to catch the side eyes when you weren't even looking in that direction. It gets old. So to overcome this, you need to be authentic. If people want to waste their time painting you as the villain, let them paint. You spend your time being authentic. Because the thing about authenticity is that it speaks volumes. When you're being authentic, no one can be in your lane. You have your own lane. And that's so important to have when you're being painted as the villain because you're doing your own thing. You're making your own moves. And so it's going to be hard for them to keep up with this narrative and this lie because you're out here just doing you. Do the things you believe in. Take the chances that you want to take. Make the moves that you want to make. Because at least you'll be happy and satisfied with yourself. You'll be happy that you did the things that were true to you and you didn't let anyone stop you. And if they're going to paint you out to be the bad guy, then you might as well look good doing it. The next downside of pretty privilege is that your mind isn't appreciated. When you're pretty, people attach your value to the way you look. Nothing more, nothing less. And it's so shallow, it just makes me want to scream. I kid you not, being pretty attracts the most shallow people. And these people are so shallow, they don't even want to hear what you have to say. They don't care. It's all about how you look. At my core, I really am a thinker. I'm an intellectual. You know the quote, if you can make a girl laugh, you can make her do anything. Well, for me, it's if you can make me learn, you can make me do anything. That's how much I love learning. So it's really frustrating to be an intellectual in a pretty woman's body because it's like people never get to know me for who I truly am. Not because I'm not willing to connect, but because they don't even want to go that far. When you're pretty, you're expected to be dumb. I was on Instagram the other day and I follow Kim Kardashian, and she just recently posted that she received her law degree from Harvard. Congrats, kid. And while thankfully most of the comments were positive, some people were so confused. They were surprised that she actually got the degree. Like when she mentioned years ago that she wanted to be a lawyer, they thought she was just saying that or making it up. Because if they were being honest, they underestimated her. I wonder why. They expect really beautiful women to be one-dimensional. If you're really pretty, you can't walk and chew gum. But if you look at her resume, you would swear she was a smart woman, wouldn't you? Successful reality star, businesswoman, and now lawyer. You've got to give it to Kim, but people will see the resume and then see the face and they just can't make the connection. When you're pretty, you're not able to connect at a high level. And so you're not able to have those truly meaningful conversations. And this can be a real bummer because there's so much that a smart woman wants to talk about. She has so many interests and ideas and she would love to have someone to bounce them off of. To overcome this, you need to satisfy your own intellectual needs. Once I really embraced my intellectual side and understood that it was a part of me, I began to treat it differently. I began to show up for myself differently. Setting aside time during the week to just read and learn has helped me tremendously and really has been so gratifying and satisfying because now I can dive as deep as I want to without burdening anyone else. And I absolutely love it. I mean, I can go hours, days even, just familiarizing myself with something new. So I encourage you to take care of yourself. The next downside of pretty privilege is that people just want to use you. The fact is, pretty women have higher social status. And because of this, everyone wants to get next to a pretty woman. People want to use you to look good and impress others. And what's scary is people are willing to go far to impress other people. I can understand wanting to be a part of a social circle that is living life at a high level. That I totally get. But it's one thing to surround yourself with the right people, and it's another thing to use people as objects. And unfortunately, the latter is what these people do. As you all may know, I am a recording artist. My music career has taught me a lot about people and how far people are willing to go to maintain an image. I can't tell you how many favors I've done, how many songs I've recorded, how many video shoots I've shown up to, how many parties I've shown up to. And it wasn't even because of my talent, which I am very talented. It was all because of my image. People wanted me to feature on their song because I'm attractive. People wanted me to be in their video shoots because I'm attractive. And they invited me to their parties because, well, you guessed it, I'm attractive. And so while in the beginning you think that it's all love and these people really want you around, you come to find out that these people are really just using you. And so because of this, relationships become business and they become conditional. A lot of pretty women, especially if they're businesswomen or entrepreneurs, have a certain way of handling relationships. They have strict boundaries with their relationships. If it's business, it really is business. And if it's personal, then it stays personal. And it's because they've had to learn, unfortunately, usually the hard way, that you cannot mix the two. When you create these boundaries, it's easier to see people for who they are. It's easier to see their intentions. Because if someone pitches business to you, but then they want to get personal, then you know that's a red flag. Or if you have a friend that's clearly personal to you that wants to step into your business side, then that's also a red flag. See, when you're pretty, you constantly have to question people's motives because you have to protect yourself. Because there's nothing more dangerous than a pretty woman that doesn't respect or protect herself. People will take advantage of her. So to overcome this, you need to be more selective. You really do have to vet people if you want high quality relationships. Because if not, you will attract a lot of people that just leech off of you. So be selective. Choose good people with good intentions. And choose people based on their heart, not on what they have. That right there is a gem. And if you live by that, you'll attract the best people and things into your life. The final downside of pretty privilege is that you become unrelatable. This is probably the trickiest downside of them all. People will no longer be able to relate to you. Like people, flesh and blood, human beings, yeah, they'll see you as unrelatable. When it comes to men, they won't think that they deserve you. And this is especially true if they're attracted to you or intend to date you. But it also shows up in friendships as well. When you're a really pretty woman, they'll think that you're too good for them and that you're out of their league. So they won't even try to date you. They won't even approach you. When it comes to women, they think you have it all. And so they feel inferior to you. And this really gets in the way when forming friendships because in the back of their minds, they just don't feel like they're on your level. And that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is that they begin to compete with you. In a nutshell, being unrelatable is isolating. While you might be a woman that starts off with a lot of friends, little by little, you'll see your circle begin to shrink because you're going to realize that you just can't hang out with everybody. So to overcome this, you need to embrace your status. Here's the thing about people believing that you're unrelatable. You ready for it? They're right. Remember, a pretty woman has a different rank in society. That's just the way it goes. And so instead of fighting that, you need to embrace your status. You need to be proud of the woman that you are, and you need to be proud of your beauty. You can still be a loving person, you can still be good to people, and in fact, I encourage you to do so. But you've got to embrace that there are levels and you are higher up. There's no shade in that. That doesn't mean that you need to look down on anyone else, but it does mean that you should enjoy your clear blue sky. I hope you enjoyed today's video. While being pretty does have its downsides, for every drawback, there's at least 10 advantages. So I want you to be encouraged to be your most beautiful self. Embrace your pretty privilege and shine your light everywhere you go. Now I want to hear from you. Do you have pretty privilege? If so, what are some of the downsides? What are some of the upsides? Drop it in the comments below. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you. Be sure to subscribe. We'd love to have you become a part of the family. Earlier, I mentioned that people want you to feel bad for being pretty. But instead of feeling bad, you're going to get badder. So watch this video for 10 micro habits to instantly become more attractive. Okay, my loves, until next time, take good care of yourselves. Bye.